Hello and welcome to Revsportz. This is Trisha from Vizag, shooting from indoors because even the sky probably could not bear the back-to-back losses that India had in Vizag. And so the moment the match finished, I ran down for the post-match live, and it was pouring. Absolutely, the skies opened up and it started raining. After that, of course, I ran to the press conference. We will discuss about the press conference and what was spoken in the press conference in the next video. But as of now, just wanted to lay down, say about 5 points where India lost this match at least. One, I think the topmost will be the rigidity that we are showing. And Amar Mazumdar in the press conference has actually kind of supported the rigidity that we are showing in the batting order. Today when Smriti Mandhana and Pratika Rawal finally got going in this World Cup, and you are 155 for 1, that's when Smriti Mandhana got out. You are supposed to send in, the aggressive batters, be it Harman, be it Jemima, or be it Richa. Because Australia has batting till number 10, and even Megan Shoot can hit a 6. It's not like Megan Shoot can't. So none of the Australian batters are no mark with the bat. Every single one of them, all 11 of them can score runs. Against them, no target, especially in a wicket which was as fast as this. Also because of the dew factor. When you chase, the dew factor is helping you from ball 1. When you're setting a target, it's actually a little different. You're towards the last 10 overs of your innings, the dew sets in. Now, you are so rigid that you don't want to tinker with your top 5. And Amol Majumdar said, we want batting stability. We don't want anybody out of rhythm. That's why we don't want the top 5, we don't want to change the top 5. Lower order, we are shuffling, which is true. The lower order has been shuffled. Today, Deepti wasn't sent, Richa was sent tomorrow. In the other match, Deepti was sent ahead of Richa. So I can understand that tinkering is happening. But I find it very hard to fathom why exactly, A, you have to be so rigid about top 5, and B, how exactly are top 5 in form? And what rhythm are you going to break is very difficult for me to understand, because in one game you have your top 2 have fired, not even top 5. Okay, point number 2, partnerships. One-day games are always about partnerships. Have you forgotten that? Has India not realized that? Very difficult to understand. 155 partnership, and then in the rest of the 9 wickets, just 150 run partnership. And rest of it, none of them got starts. Yes, the partnerships are also 20s, 30s, but none of them have a big partnership. And then you shift your focus to the Australian team and just see every single, yes, there were 2 cheap wickets. Beth Mooney got out early, Annabelle Sutherland was out quite early, but there were partnerships. Be the Healy-Litchfield partnership, Perry-Healy partnership, and then eventually, Healy and Ash Gardner had a partnership. So Sophie Molyneux got going, and in the end it was Kim Gart and Ellis Perry partnership. So there were clusters of partnerships. In between 1 or 2 here and there, they missed. That's why Australia wins tight matches, because ultimately it is about building that partnership and not going for glory shots, because they should have understood the situation. You are 302 for 5 in 44 overs, and then you get out for 329. The remaining 5 batters, you cannot convince me that they cannot bat, because the first 3 games, they are the ones who have taken you out of that difficult situation. So they could bat. Today Richa got a 30. Others didn't chip in, because the openers chipped in. Nobody else really converted. Not the captain, not Hurley, not Jemima, nobody. At number 4, why are we playing with 4.5 bowlers? Yes, 4.5 bowlers. I know there are a lot of people who might jump at me saying Amanjot took the 2 wickets in the end. That was, towards the end, and good on her that she took the wickets. Very good pace change, From 111, she was directly going to 79, but Amanjot is not your new ball bowler. Amanjot is not your new ball strike bowler. That's Kranti Gaur and Renuka. Much like batting partnership, you need bowling partnership as well, and that is where India does not have a bowling partnership with the new ball. Today was Kranti's off day, and that will happen. One of the bowlers will have your off day, will have a off day. For batting, you're thinking of having 8 batters, so that if 1 or 2 have a bad day, you have the cushion. But when it comes to bowling, you're not thinking about that. Harman bowled 1 over. And because Kranti was expensive, so Harman had to get in Sneh Rana in the second last over to finish her quota of overs. Amanjot would have bowled the last over had that happened. So and Renuka is sitting there. Renuka has picked up wickets against Australia. Renuka has picked up Alisa Healy so many times, the in-swinger. If the management does not see that, and Amol Majumdar at the press conference said, yes, we will sit down, we will discuss this, and we will probably we will come up with better plans. Now, after the milk is spoiled, and from now on, all 3 games are a must-win for you. I'll get to that later. Now, point number 5, and I think one of the most important points. Game awareness. Our game awareness is so less, and the calculation is so less that we don't realize at least the last 2 games we have not even played our full quota of overs. I think last game also, or last game we played, the other game we did not play. For example, when you are 329 and you still have 7 balls to go, let's say you would take single of the 7 balls. Even that becomes 336. You are 330 all out, sorry. So, you get 7 runs, it's 337, and suddenly a total of 330 becomes a total of 340. 10 more runs extra here, or say 6 more runs extra here. Perry would still need to go to the last over. And when a game goes to the last over, you never know. Maybe still Australia would have won. What if you had got 1 boundary in those 7 balls? You have to play your full quota of overs. How come nobody has the maturity for that? Last game in the last over, Richa took a single and gave it to one of the tail enders. They got out. Charni came in. She also got out. Who will talk about these game awareness? Coaches, sure, but also it is Jemmy's first World Cup. It is Charni's first World Cup. It is Kranti's first World Cup. Don't think it is the first World Cup for anybody else in the team. And even if it's the first World Cup for someone like Jemima, she has been enough in this circuit, enough and more to be aware of these cricket smarts. The angles when you're placing a field. You know what is game awareness? You know what is cricket smarts? In the last ball of the 49th over, Perry was batting, and it was 6 runs needed of 7 balls. She was almost taking her guard. Kim Garth, who's the number 10 batter, and of course Perry is the bigger batter, more experience, etc., the legend. But Kim Garth came and spoke to Perry. And it clearly was that in the last ball, take a risk. If we get a boundary or if we get a 6, let's close the game, try and get closer to the target in this ball itself. And they had a chat. The next thing you know, Perry steps out and hits a 6. Ends the game there. 2 games in Vizag. You came to Vizag with 2 out of 2 wins. Now you're going from Vizag with 2 back-to-back losses. So what you had come as was 4 points in 2 games. Now you're leaving with 4 points in 4 games. And from here on, the task is absolutely uphill. The New Zealand match is your quarterfinal. If you can defeat England, then at least your New Zealand match is not the virtual knockout match. But if you lose to England from here on, then the New Zealand game is actually a virtual knockout game in a home World Cup. When you are facing Bangladesh, you are probably already knocked out of the World Cup. It's not easy to cover sport. It's not easy to cover something you're passionate about. It seems it's an easy job. It isn't. And when the team is losing, it gets tougher. 2 close games, we still aren't winning the big moments. This is the best team. These are 15 match winners. Everything fine. But if you cannot seize the big moments, and we have not done that in the last 2 games. And by the way, the last 2 games were actually against the top 5 sides. You cannot judge any team by Sri Lanka, Pakistan or Bangladesh. While no offense meant to all the 3 teams, but they are weaker skill-wise to India. But the teams that are not weaker to you skill-wise and are probably at par or a little higher, you are challenging them. But in the big moments, you are still coming second. When will you learn the smallest of things is the question that still remains. Because this is what we had discussed after India was thrown out from the group stage in the 2024 T20 World Cup. We are discussing the same problems. What are the changes that India can bring in is now the next question. Next game, I hope, is not an overreaction against England. Because England, mind you, do not go by the India-England series. They will be a very, very tough opponent. Nat Brandt, their main batter, is on song. Heather Knight is back in the team, an absolute stable batter. And their spinners are posing trouble. So, tough task ahead. And all 3 games from here on, India needs to win to stay alive in the competition. Snehajish and I will be moving to Indore tomorrow. And we will start, sorry, not tomorrow, you're watching this in the morning. So, we will be moving today. In fact, maybe when you're watching, you're in the flight. But we will keep the coverage going. We will keep supporting the team, just hoping that the team rises to the occasion, because it's tiring to have these heartbreaks. Well, like, share and subscribe to Revsportz, and keep supporting Revsportz as well as Team India. Let's hope Team India comes back stronger at a different win. Thank you.